In the grand, sweeping tapestry of modern popular culture, there exist rare and blinding moments where the collective attention of the entire world is completely arrested by a singular narrative unfolding in real time. We live in an era dominated by hyperconnectivity and immediate gratification, where celebrity news moves at the speed of light, yet every so often, an event transcends the ordinary boundaries of traditional media to become a genuine cultural phenomenon that redefines the zeitgeist. It is a phenomenon that forces us to examine how modern fairy tales are constructed in the public eye, masterfully blending the thin between intensely personal romance and epic, stadium-sized entertainment. The sheer magnitude of public fascination surrounding the world's biggest icons has reached an unprecedented peak in recent years, creating an environment where every whisper, every secret gathering, and every sudden cross-country flight becomes a vital piece of a much grander, mystifying puzzle. The anticipation builds quietly at first, ripple effects felt across global social media platforms and traditional broadcasting networks alike, as millions of people around the globe pause their daily lives to witness what feels like history in the making. It is the kind of profound cultural gravity that can only be generated by individuals who have entirely redefined their respective industries, drawing an audience that beautifully spans generations, geographies, and socioeconomic demographics, all united by a deep and insatiable curiosity about what happens when the bright lights are supposed to be turned off and the public personas fade into the background. This narrative is not merely about fame, but about the profound emotional connection that millions of devoted followers develop with their idols, transforming a private milestone into a shared global experience that resonates through every corner of modern society. To truly understand the immense weight of these monumental pop culture shifts, one must appreciate the meticulous orchestration and deep emotional currents that happen behind the scenes, far from the flashing lights of the red carpet or the roaring crowds of athletic arenas. The fascinating intersection of elite professional sports and global musical supremacy has created a brand new tier of stardom, a modern contemporary royalty whose every move is analyzed, dissected, and celebrated by an adoring public. As we continue to follow these incredible journeys and unpack the fascinating stories that shape our contemporary cultural landscape, it becomes essential to remain connected to the true pulse of these unfolding events. Which is why taking a moment to subscribe and join our growing community ensures you never miss a single detail of these historic milestones as they happen. This unique union of two completely different worlds has captured the global imagination in a way that feels both entirely fresh and deeply nostalgic, reminiscent of the classic Golden Age Hollywood romances of yesteryear, but amplified by the massive, untamable power of the digital age. The overarching narrative relies heavily on a delicate balance of extreme public visibility and fiercely guarded private moments, a duality that only heightens the overall intrigue and leaves the world desperately searching for any glimpse into the reality behind the carefully curated headlines. Every single dynamic of this high-profile relationship serves as a testament to the power of modern storytelling, where the lines between reality and public perception become beautifully blurred, creating an ongoing saga that captivates audiences day after day. As the heavy heat of midsummer began to settle over the concrete canyons of New York City, an undeniable energy started to take absolute hold of Manhattan, signaling that something truly extraordinary was about to take place behind the tightly closed doors of its most legendary and historic venues. Rumors began to swirl through the inner corridors of the entertainment industry, hinting at massive logistics, unprecedented security measures, and the sudden, highly coordinated movement of some of the most recognizable and powerful figures on the planet. Elite helicopters were spotted ferrying legendary filmmakers and music moguls from exclusive coastal enclaves directly into the heart of the city, while high-end fashion houses worked under conditions of absolute secrecy to finalize garments destined for the history books. The entire metropolitan area seemed to transform into a high-security stage, prepared to host a gathering of unprecedented scale and glamour, where the stakes were higher than ever before. Yet, amidst the spectacular preparation taking place in the Northeast, a quiet, brilliant diversion was being executed thousands of miles away on the sun-drenched coast of Southern California. A select group of close friends bound by years of brotherhood and shared experiences before the onset of absolute global fame quietly gathered far from the prying eyes of the paparazzi to mark the end of an era and celebrate the final, fleeting days of a man's bachelorhood, creating an atmosphere of quiet reflection before the storm of public attention would change everything forever. This West Coast excursion was meticulously designed to be a sanctuary of true normalcy, a brief and precious opportunity to disconnect from the overwhelming weight of impending history and enjoy the simple, grounded camaraderie that can only be found among lifelong companions. The sharp contrast between the immense, multi-million-dollar theatrical preparations in New York and the relatively low-key, brotherhood-focused gatherings in California perfectly illustrates the complex reality of navigating love and life under a global microscope. While the world watched the skies for private jets and monitored city permits for signs of an impending celebration of epic proportions, the true essence of this journey was being forged in the quiet spaces between public appearances, where old friends shared laughs and prepared for a massive life transition. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, a collective holding of breath as the final pieces of this grand narrative began to slide into place, setting the stage for an unforgettable series of events that would soon capture the headlines of every major news outlet across the globe. This prelude to the main event was not just a simple getaway, but a calculated effort to preserve the sacred nature of deep personal relationships before entering a new chapter that would be forever scrutinized by the public eye, laying the foundational groundwork for a story that was about to take a shocking and entirely unexpected turn. The delicate balance between high-profile public pageantry and the deeply personal sanctuaries of the elite was fully exposed as the days ticked down toward the most anticipated union in modern pop culture history. While the bustling streets of Manhattan were being heavily fortified by an unprecedented law enforcement presence, the narrative took a sudden and fascinating detour to the West Coast, where the final moments of individual independence were being marked in a fashion that would completely catch the entertainment world off guard. It was in the vibrant, sun-soaked city of San Diego where the true nature of this high-stakes transition began to reveal itself, specifically inside the packed and electric atmosphere of the Viejas Arena. On the evening of June 21st, a sold-out crowd had gathered to witness a masterclass in comedy by the legendary stand-up star Dave Chappelle. Entirely unaware that nestled within the energetic audience was the world's most talked-about future groom, surrounded by his absolute closest circle of friends and his fiercely loyal brother, Jason Kelce. This was not the typical, heavily guarded VIP experience insulated from the real world, but rather a deliberate plunge into the shared human experience of laughter and community, serving as the central anchor for a Bachelor celebration that was destined to break every single rule of traditional celebrity decadence. The sheer irony of the situation began to unfold only after the main event in New York had reached its breathtaking conclusion, when Dave Chappelle himself broke his silence during a remote appearance on a national independence broadcast hosted by Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. When pressed by the co-hosts about whether he had interacted with the towering NFL superstar during that high-octane comedy showcase, Chappelle delivered a candid, live-on-air revelation that immediately sent shockwaves through social media and traditional newsrooms alike. The 52-year-old comedian openly confessed to being completely stunned by what he witnessed, describing the gathering with a mixture of humor and genuine disbelief as an entirely wholesome, completely clean affair that lacked any of the raunchy, exotic, or wild antics typically associated with a traditional athlete's final night out. Instead of the stereotypical, cliché-ridden narrative of excessive behavior and late-night debauchery that the public has come to expect from ultra-wealthy sports icons, this bachelor party was defined by a refreshing, almost shocking degree of restraint and genuine brotherhood, proving to a skeptical public that the wild edges of celebrity pre-wedding festivities might be undergoing a profound and permanent evolution. This revelation from one of the most sharp-witted social commentators of our time cast a brilliant new light on how this modern power couple navigates their immense fame, showing a deliberate choice to prioritize authentic connections over superficial, headline-grabbing wildness. Chappelle, with his trademark dry wit, did not stop at merely describing the tame nature of the San Diego excursion. He also humorously lamented his own lack of an invitation to the actual wedding ceremony that took place shortly thereafter at Madison Square Garden, pointing out the massive 22,000-person capacity of the iconic New York venue. The comedian jokingly remarked to the national television audience that despite his intimate proximity to the prenuptial celebrations on the West Coast, he somehow failed to make the cut for the 15,000 closest friends who were permitted to witness the exchange of vows, highlighting the intensely competitive and highly selective nature of the guest list. This playful critique from an industry giant only added fuel to the growing public fascination, illustrating the intense gravitational pull of an event where even the world's most famous performers find themselves looking in from the outside. Beyond the laughter and the comedic commentary of the San Diego show, the true scope of the Bachelor festivities extended back to the historic roots of West Hollywood, where the Kelce brothers were spotted engaging in a surprisingly grounded night out at the iconic Barney's Beanery. The legendary establishment, known for its rich history and unpretentious atmosphere, served as the perfect backdrop for a celebration that deliberately rejected the glitz and glamour of ultra-exclusive, modern VIP lounges. Captured in candid photographs that quickly circulated across global media platforms, the brothers exhibited a level of comfort and ease that starkly contrasted with the monumental media storm brewing on the opposite side of the country, showcasing a rare moment of pure, unadulterated family bonding. Meanwhile, an equally compelling and fiercely protected narrative was unfolding simultaneously on the East Coast, where the bride-to-be was orchestrating her own pre-wedding gathering with an entirely different but equally loyal circle of confidants, in a masterclass of modern public relations and absolute digital security. The bride and her closest friends retreated to the coastal sanctuary of Rhode Island for a bachelorette celebration that remained entirely invisible to the outside world. Proving the absolute, unbreakable trust within her inner circle, not a single photograph, leaked text message, or descriptive detail managed to escape the confines of the private estate, creating a total information blackout that drove the paparazzi to absolute frustration. This flawless execution of privacy in an era dominated by smartphone cameras and instant digital betrayal served as a powerful testament to the loyalty surrounding the billionaire singer, mirroring the quiet dignity and unexpected restraint of her partner's West Coast tour. While the public desperately searched for any sign of typical bachelorette extravagance, the reality was a quiet, low-key gathering that prioritized genuine emotional preparation over public display, setting a sophisticated tone for the historic events that were about to transpire in the heart of New York City, where the grand culmination of their nearly year-long engagement was moving toward an explosive, multi-million-dollar reality. The meticulous secrecy and quiet anticipation that defined the preceding weeks finally gave way to a historic reality on the evening of Friday, July 3rd, when the cultural capital of the world became the epicenter of an unforgettable celebration. At exactly 7:30 in the evening, the massive architectural facade of Madison Square Garden was suddenly illuminated by brilliant pink neon signs that boldly announced to the thousands of onlookers gathered in the streets below that the world's most talked-about couple had officially exchanged their vows. The public confirmation from the bride's longtime publicist ignited an immediate wave of celebration across global digital platforms, bringing a triumphant conclusion to a romance that first began in the summer of 23 and captured the imagination of millions. The ceremony itself was a masterclass in elegant, customized grandeur, featuring bespoke Christian Dior haute couture garments designed by the visionary Jonathan Anderson, marking a historic first for the luxury fashion house in creating a couture wedding gown for a global musical megastar of this unprecedented magnitude. Every single detail of the grand event was designed to blend the spectacular scale of a stadium performance with the deeply moving intimacy of a private family gathering, ensuring that the milestone would be etched into the archives of modern cultural history. As the doors of the historic arena opened to reveal a breathtaking fairy tale transformation, the deeply personal layers of the ceremony began to unfold before the 1,000 assembled guests who had traveled from every corner of the earth to witness the union. Standing fiercely by the bride's side as her trusted man of honor was her brother Austin Swift, while the groom looked to his own brother and longtime athletic compatriot, Jason Kelce, to serve as his best man, reinforcing the deep family values that underpin this monumental relationship. In a beautiful touch of family inclusion, the young daughters of Jason and Kylie Kelce served as the flower girls, gently scattering delicate petals along the grand aisle as the bride made her highly anticipated entrance to the soaring sounds of a custom string rendition of one of her very own iconic musical compositions. The emotional gravity of the ceremony reached its absolute peak when legendary Hollywood actor Adam Sandler stepped forward to serve as the official wedding officiant, bringing his unique blend of warmth and humor to the altar. Sandler went above and beyond his ceremonial duties by penning and performing a completely original song dedicated entirely to the couple's unique journey, a musical tribute that insiders described as deeply moving, touchingly humorous, and profoundly reflective of their intense mutual devotion, the sheer scale of the logistical operation required to pull off an event of this magnitude in the middle of Manhattan was nothing short of staggering, with industry experts estimating the total cost of the grand nuptials to exceed $15 million. This astronomical sum encompassed not only the complete physical transformation of Madison Square Garden into a romantic wonderland, but also the extensive security infrastructure, massive catering operations, permits, and comprehensive insurance policies required to safeguard the high-profile assembly. The security apparatus was so immense that local taxpayers contributed over $1 million to fund a dedicated New York City Police Department detail that actively patrolled the perimeter of the venue, enforcing strict street closures and maintaining a hard perimeter that successfully kept the global paparazzi at bay. The extraordinary measures were deemed absolutely necessary as a glittering parade of Hollywood royalty and music industry titans began arriving early in the afternoon, kicked off by a dashing Bradley Cooper in a tailored tuxedo, who arrived alongside rumored bridesmaid Gigi Hadid following an intimate preparation session at the bride's downtown Manhattan home. The sheer star power concentrated within the venue was further highlighted by the dramatic arrival of megawatt celeb righties like Jay-Z and Steven Spielberg, who bypassed the gridlocked city streets entirely by jetting into private helipads directly from their exclusive estates in the Hamptons. The main event was the spectacular culmination of a multi-day celebration that had actually kicked off the previous evening with an exclusive rehearsal dinner attended by 100 of the couple's absolute closest friends, including global pop icon Selena Gomez and legendary music producer Jack Antonoff. The energy of that pre-wedding gathering set a joyful, triumphant tone that carried directly into the main wedding night, where city permits allowed the historic extravaganza to push forward late into the early morning hours, creating an unforgettable atmosphere of dance, laughter, and celebration. As the final notes of music echoed through the rafters of the iconic arena, the event solidified its place not just as a marriage of two extraordinary individuals, but as a permanent landmark in the history of contemporary entertainment culture. This historic union stands as the ultimate validation of a journey that began with a quiet spark 3 years prior, developing through a year of intense public speculation before the couple proudly took their romance public in October of 23. Their subsequent engagement in August of 25, confirmed via a deeply moving and universally celebrated joint social media announcement, laid the foundational groundwork for this definitive milestone that has permanently redefined the intersection of sports, music, and global celebrity culture. By choosing to celebrate their love in the heart of the world's most famous arena, surrounded by an unbreakable inner circle of family and lifelong friends, the couple successfully transformed a massive public spectacle into a beautiful testament to authentic human connection. As they step forward into this brand new chapter of their shared lives, their story continues to inspire millions around the globe, proving that even under the brightest, most intense lights the world has to offer, true love can find a way to flourish, grow, and build a lasting legacy that will be talked about for generations to come.